Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning on Maritime today, we're looking at Lagos. Lagos is at the center of all narratives this morning, and not just because Mr. President is visiting, but of course of the great potentials that Lagos possesses. And today, we are unlocking maritime potentials for Lagos, the Blue Economy Strategy. And joining me on the phone line is Mr. Damilola Emmanuel, who is a special advisor to the governor on Blue Economy. Mr. Emmanuel, it's nice to have you join us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning, Victor. I'm sorry I can't be in the studio, but good morning.
All right, and of course, let me say congratulations to you. It's the first time we're speaking with you since you were elevated to the position of a special advisor. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Victor.
All right, so let's look at what the Blue Economy holds for Lagos. So what is the Lagos State government's vision for the Blue Economy?
Well, thank you very much, Victor, and it's a pleasure to be here, up on here today. You know, the truth about it is that, you know, Lagos has always had a blue economy. And I say that to speak to the fact that when you look at the several inland waterways, transportation that we've had, when you look at fisheries, when you look at aquaculture, when you look at coastal tourism,
right,
when you even look at the ports in Lagos, you know, you can also see, even though that of course that is regulated by the federal government, you know, Lagos is really the state that houses a lot of the blue economy potentials for Nigeria.
Right.
Of course, several other coastal states also have several, you know, but all of this while, you know, we have not been able to actually concretize, and I would say, you know, sort of fully streamline how we should be regulating our blue economy.
Okay.
And you know, blue economy is something that even across the world now,
right,
we've been looked at. We've seen how the green economy, you know, we've seen the thing around green bonds, and you know, but now the next thing now, moving away from green bonds, we're going on to blue bonds.
Right.
You know, and Lagos, being a coastal city, offers an ample opportunity, you know, not only in terms of even just revenue generation for the state, but even in terms of job opportunities, you know, and even the contributing to the environmental and social well-being of Lagos State as well.
Right.
So that is pretty much how I would like to start this conversation.
Which is very, very good. So the horizon looks very, very bright for Lagos, and you being someone that has been handling at least one of the subsets of the blue economy in Lagos, at least you were a general manager for LASWA, that's Lagos State Waterways Authority, for several years, meaning that definitely you're already plugged in on this. But in terms of the potentials for the blue economy, let's look through it right now.
Yes.
What are the potentials saying for Lagos? How huge are the opportunities that we have from the blue economy?
Well, fantastic. So first of all, let's just take the inland water transportation, which obviously was where you said I've been for several years,
yes,
right? As you know, the Lagos State government has finally secured through the French government, has finally secured 410 million euros to be able to boost its inland water transportation sector.
Okay.
Now, that is just one. You know, you heard very recently as well, even with what the federal government also signed as well for the rehabilitation of the two major ports in Lagos State as well.
That's right.
You see? So just take those two potentially, right? Now, this definitely will significantly boost mobility of passengers and mobility of cargoes, you know, thereby reducing the amount of loss that we have been experiencing in terms of business productivity, whether it be from a passenger point of view, going to do his business, going up and down, or the cargoes, you know, as well, which have been stuck either in traffic congestion or have had or any kind of other issue you can think about. Now, this, if we translate that, obviously, look, not to begin to give figures, but this will significantly even boost the revenue potential of Lagos State, which obviously would lead into, of course, hundreds of billions or however you want to couch it. But like I said, the whole idea of those figures is to let us know as well that, as we generate that more revenue, then there's a lot more states can do, to further begin to improve the lives of even Lagosians.
Right.
I mean, this is just one. And then also tourism. There's also the idea of boosting coastal tourism, which obviously right now, if you look at it, people go to the Lashes, the Ibeshes. But we're talking about this now on a grand scale, where we take parcels of land, develop them into proper maritime harbors,
Okay.
and those harbors now become a place where tourists visit from all over the world. I mean, you have many people in Lagos, in Nigeria, who visit countries just because they want to go and have a good time. There are countries around us. I'm sure you've heard of Zanzibar before in Tanzania.
Right.
There's Zanzibar. Zanzibar constantly has millions, tens of millions of people visiting every year just because of tourism. That is the kind of thing that Lagos too will now have. And you now have people coming in, and that of course bringing in revenue for Lagos, but also bringing in visibility for Lagos as well, and of course job opportunities and employment for the youth.
Right.
The youth are looking for jobs. Now it's no longer about the white collar jobs. There are going to be jobs in maritime, there will be jobs in coastal tourism, jobs in port development, jobs in the inland waterways transportation. Victor, the opportunities
are endless. All right, so I can see that it's a sea of plural possibilities from the way you are describing it. But we love to deal with figures, and by the time you're able to put figures to all of this, so many things come to play. I do not know if your office, as the special advisor to Mr. Governor, I don't know if you've done any feasibility studies on what all of these can generate for Lagos. With this year's budget is looming around 4.3 or 4.4 trillion naira. Out of all of this, how much can the blue economy generate for Lagos, from what you see?
From what I see, I want to be very, very careful, in saying this. And I'll tell you, and I'll be very honest and truthfully, because that's one of the things about Lagos. Lagos doesn't just say what it cannot do. Truth be told is that we're currently doing our own on-site feasibility study. However, there have been feasibility studies, identified, right? And there have been there have been figures which have been averagely given that Lagos can potentially generate hundreds of billions.
Wow.
Yes.
Of naira or dollars?
Well, depending on how let's even be moderate now. Let's try to be moderate and say, let's try to be moderate and say naira. Let's not jump.
Okay.
Let's try, but we know that the potentials are there to get to whether dollars or euros or whatever currency. But for now, even if it's the hundreds of billions, and this is, remember, we are talking about across the different sectors, right? So if we have, say, 6 sectors, and if 6 sectors are generating 100 billion, remember what that's about 600 billion. Am I right?
That's right.
Yeah. So potentially you can easily say, across several sectors, Lagos can generate nothing between 300 to 500 billion in a year.
Which is
in a year.
Which is very, very promising, really. But when you look at all of this, really, is Lagos waking up too late into the blue economy? I mean, people have been talking about the fact that this is something that's been on for some time now. Now that the office is being created, do you think Lagos is coming into the game too late?
Lagos can never be caught behind. Lagos is not coming in too late. And the reason why I say so is because if you look at even the blue economy, thank God that the federal ministry, and of course the president has set up the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, which is now housing the Ministry of Marine. And that's to show you that Lagos is also keen in now, because across Africa, a few countries have started to touch on it. But as you know, Lagos always tends to lead the way, especially even within West Africa.
Right.
So I would say yes. Could we have come out a bit earlier? Definitely, but it's never too late. Now is even the appropriate time, even as the state and the country as a whole is looking for other areas to be able to generate revenue.
All right. So from your office perspective now, so what kind of relationship are you having with all other bodies? Of course, like you said, Lagos is at the forefront when you talk about being a littoral state in Nigeria. Most of the major and the most functional ports that we have in the country right now are situated right here in Lagos. So what relationship is your office having with all those federal agencies in terms of regulatory oversight?
Well, fantastically. You know, one of the things I've always believed in, even with my days from LASWA, has always been collaboration, Victor. You know, and I believe that there are times where, you know, everybody wants to sort of lay claims to what their territory is. But at the end of the day, what is the primary purpose? The primary purpose is to ensure that the lives of Lagosians are improved, right? The lives of Lagosians, there's a seamless transition for them from point A to point B, whether passengers or their goods. So I've always believed in collaboration, and that's the same thing. And the good thing, like you even said, Victor, was the fact that, you know, through Lagos State Waterways Authority, I had to engage with some of these federal agencies as well. So one of the things I want to state clearly is that the state government is clearly aligned with the federal government and all its agencies, you know, and even where some of the components, subsectors under the blue economy is touching on issue. Let me give an example.
Okay.
Fisheries is under the blue economy, but fisheries, as we speak today, is under the Ministry of Agriculture in Lagos State. So not only will I be collaborating with federal agency, even state MDAs will be collaborating as well. Because there's no competition. It's all about collaboration for the good people of Lagos State.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning on Maritime Today, we are unlocking maritime potentials for Lagos, the Blue Economy Strategy. And my guest is one who is no stranger to the microphone, Damilola Emmanuel, a special advisor to Mr. Governor on Blue Economy. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, we'll be looking at infrastructure for blue economy in Lagos. How far have we gone with that? My guests will be explaining to us. And if you have any questions for Damilola Emmanuel, feel free to connect with us. And that will be on 080-99-120-777. That's 080-99-120-777. A brief break. We will be back.
From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program, and I still have with me on the phone line Damilola Emmanuel, who is a special advisor to Mr. Governor on Blue Economy, and we're reflecting on how to unlock the potentials for maritime in Lagos, looking at the Blue Economy Strategy. Earlier on, we heard from our live reporter that's at the Okpebi Ojota end, where that commissioning will be taking place. Adewale Oluokporoko has been speaking with residents there, and they're looking at the potentials of that particular bridge and the impact it will bring. Traffic managers as well are sending in swingers. We're still tracking that broken down tipper at Unilag Waterfront inwards the island is receiving attention. By the way, this will be coming in from the inner part of Ikorodu, connecting Mile 12. Slow and steady is the name of the game. From there towards Koshofe down to K2 is also slow and steady too. So we'll be serving you more helpings as they come in from time to time. If you you want to join the conversation, feel free. 080-99120777 and 09153877127. Let's get back to the conversation now, Mr. Emmanuel. So now that Lagos has this big dream of ensuring that its blue economy is very, very viable, let's talk about the infrastructure for the blue economy. How far have we gone in terms of putting that in place?
Well, we've gone quite far, but in terms of let's look at the different sectors. As you know, I mean the ports, which is under the federal government,
right.
with MPA. We know how much MPA has invested in the ports, and we know what is about to come now with a significant investment that is also coming in for that as well. Okay. So we're seeing, I think, obviously there's things around modernizing the ports. Of course, that definitely is ongoing. Regarding the inland waterways, like I said, we secured foreign funding, which is a 5-year project starting from this year as well. You're going to begin to see a lot of significant works towards the end of the year, next year. You'll see a lot of jetties and terminals being done. But over the past years, from previous administrations of Lagos State government, have invested heavily in the terminals that have been built, in several even patrol boats, and even ferries. And we're seeing that the first electric ferry has even been produced. The first electric ferry in Africa, by the way, has been produced in Lagos State by Maritime. So that's a lot of kudos to them as well. And we're going to see how that electric ferry is also. All right. Yes,
just hold on 1 second. Let's see if we can take 1 or 2 calls that are coming in. Hello there. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
My name is Dele Williams.
Okay, Dele Williams.
Part 15.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to lodge a complaint.
Okay.
Between Otto and Ido, there is a bad portion of road.
Okay.
And that has come to a beach now. So I want you to escalate to Ministry of Environment and Public Works.
Okay. All right.
To rehabilitate that road. Because in the next 1 or 2 weeks now, it will be possible.
All right. Okay, then. Thank you so much, Dele Williams. We've taken note of that one. Thank you. Bad portion at Otto, between it Otto and Ido, he says. We're going to be escalating that to the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. Let's see how that can be rehabilitated. 08099120777. Anyway, so you've mentioned some of the infrastructure that you are putting in place. Let's talk about wrecks. I know we have there are some wrecks under the waterways in Lagos. What is your office doing? And of course, I'm sure you'll be collaborating with other agencies as well to see how that can be removed. Do you have any talks with NIMASA, for instance, or even NIWA?
Well, yeah. So we obviously collaborate. What the state government has done is actually marked where these wrecks are. And the truth be told is that, yes, it's a bit of a cumbersome challenge, but it's one of the things that under the Office of the Blue Economy as well, we're looking at how Lagos State can do. But one thing I'll show you is that we currently have done a study and we've identified the amount of wrecks that are actually on the inland waterways. And this is something we're going to have to do, obviously, even in collaboration with the federal agencies as well, because their mandate as well also covers the removal of wrecks. But I can tell you categorically, we have a feasibility study on all the wrecks,
okay,
and I've identified them according. So for us, the next steps will be to map them,
okay,
every one of them, and then secondly to find out how we can evacuate them off the waterways.
All right, then 08099120777. My question here says, "Good morning, sir. My name is Sheung Ibrahim. How will fishermen in places like Makoko benefit from this blue economy strategy? Thanks." All right, then. Thank you so much, Ibrahim. Damilola, what's the response to Sheung Ibrahim?
Very good question. The truth about it is that you must factor in and think about the local fishermen, right? And the good thing about it is that their data currently resides with Ministry of Agriculture. So one of the things we want to do first of all is that take that data, then see exactly where all the different kinds of fish we have in Lagos, and how can we then now begin to streamline them accordingly to ensure that, because the waterway is meant to be open for all users, whether it's water transportation, whether it's fishermen, whether it's dredgers, whether it's sand miners, whether it's loggers. So we want to even apportion the appropriate places where they should be fishing, because sometimes you have issues where boat operators, they clash with fishermen.
All right.
So we want to, first of all, is we have that the data sits with Agric. Then is to look at, okay, where are all these potential fishes, and how do we then allocate fishing areas across the entire divide of the Lagos Inland Waterway, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing.
All right,
in the
then.
Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay, then. So more reactions coming in for you on the program this morning. This one says, my question is, what is the government doing to stop pollution in waters as part of the blue economy? You didn't put your name. Thank you so much. All right, so what are you guys doing to address water pollution?
Well, let me first of all say this, right? Water has no waste of its own. Can I repeat that?
Yes.
Water has no waste of its own.
What do you mean by that?
Every waste that is coming to the water is coming from land. So every time we drop anything on the road, what happens to it? It gets washed to where? The drainages, and then the drainages feeds where? The lagoon. So first of all is to tell ourselves we must stop littering our environment. So we're working hard with Ministry of Environment to see how we can really begin to enforce this issue around people, dropping waste just anywhere. Because that little sweet wrapper, that bottle you drank and you threw, you threw on the floor, is going to find its way where? In the waterway. So first of all, let's take it from that place, that there must be collective responsibility from every single citizen, that I must keep my environment clean. Then secondly, Loma have set up a marine unit to begin to keep our waterways clean. There's also Laswamo, who is waterways
wastewater.
Yes, wastewater. Yeah. Wastewater as well. They are now going around, and I'm sure you heard recently about where they went to. I think it was a bank or something, who had been passing out his effluent the wrong way. So we are working as well with sister agencies to begin to ensure that those who are polluting, begin to face the full wrath of the law, because unfortunately it has to be a carrot and a stick approach. In as much as government creates an enabling environment, we have to also enforce where people are refusing to do what is right.
Okay, all right, then 08099120777. Control room is sending travel advisory for those of you who are on the road this morning, and it says, due to the ongoing event of the commissioning of Okpebi Mende Link Bridge, the road has been closed down at Adebola House, that's at Okpebi and Sheraton. That's by Sheraton Link Bridge respectively. So motorists coming in from Allen that wants to link up with Sheraton and Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way are advised to use Towing Street. From there you can connect customs and then you can continue your journey. Motorists coming in from Kudirat Abiola Way that wants to connect that's Sheraton, you're also advised to make use of Ikorodu Road, and then you can continue your journey from there to link up with Bank Anthony Way. So that's the update from the control room, which is coming to us right now. We're gradually winding to the end of the program, but Damilola, what's the vision really before we begin to see in terms of concrete, in terms of achievement? What's the vision? How many years plan are we putting in place for the blue economy in Lagos?
Well, I see, as of now, based on the research we're doing, we see the potential of it being, it's going to tie in really to the Lagos State development plan, which I'm sure is up right now up until 2052.
That's right.
So I see that it fitting into that plan, but we also want to have like a 20-year plan for Lagos State.
All right.
Yeah, a 20-year plan, and it speaks to, and within these 20 years is obviously beginning to now provide the necessary infrastructure, right, that would help this sector be able to generate the revenue it should generate, and also sustainability as well, because how for Lagos it's not just about springing up things, and then we want sustainability, and that's what the whole world is speaking to now. Whatever you're doing, make sure you factor in sustainability into that as well.
All right.
So I would say yes, that's what I would like to say.
Okay, messages coming in from Frederick. Frederick says, sir, this is very interesting. Will there be training programs for youths who want to work in maritime industry? Frederick, thank you so much.
Most definitely, and like I said, there's no reinventing the wheel. When you speak about this already exists. There are maritime institutions. We're going to have to work with those maritime institutions as well. So really, when you think about it, Victor, it seems like different things are there. So we just need to coordinate all of these things together and begin to make use of them. I'm sure you know there are several maritime institutions,
right.
Oceanography, there are different ones of them. There are different, there are a number of them in Lagos as well, and even outside of Lagos as well, to begin to see how do we fully harness, all of these institutions for trainings and capacity building.
Okay, then. So let's begin to take this home. This message just popping in says, "Good morning, sir. How soon will Lagosians start seeing real impact from this blue economy initiative?" Mr. Williams is sending that one. And thank you so much, Mr. Williams. Even though Damilola Emmanuel has spoken about this earlier on, but of course, I'm sure he will still reflect on this as we round off. So, what's the message this morning to our listening public, and how expectant should Lagosians be as relates to the prospects of the blue economy, Emmanuel?
Well, they always say that once you taste the water never leaves you. So it's good to say. It's just to tell Lagosians that look, there is another way, and that other way is really the blue economy. Lagos State is actively ensuring that it does it's all it can to begin to fully harness it. And when people ask, how soon? I like that word of how soon, but the truth about it is that we should think of how well as well, because the same people are saying how soon. If you quickly do anything and rush it, and it fails, they're going to be the ones to slack your back. So just to let them know that significant investments have been received, especially if you look at the port modernization and also the inland water transportation.
Okay.
We'll also be seeking for funding for other sectors, aquaculture, tourism, fisheries. We'll be working on that as well.
Okay.
And of course, we'll begin to see in the next few years, so we say 2 to 3 years, we begin to see significant impact across the blue economy.
All right, then we'll leave it at that for now, because there will always be time for us to get back and gauge how far we've gone. Damilola Emmanuel, it's nice connecting with you on the program this morning. Thank you so much for linking up with us.
Thank you, Victor. Regards to everybody. Bye.
Okay, then. So he's the special advisor to Mr. Governor on blue economy, and we'll be able to tap into the potentials for maritime sector, especially looking at the blue economy strategy of Lagos State. He's Damilola Emmanuel, special advisor to the governor on the blue economy. All right, flash update from the control room says there's a broken down loaded tipper on, that was the one on the Third Milan Bridge. But of course, within the Ekpe corridor, there's an accident involving a loaded sand truck and Loma compactor truck due to excessive speed at Ibeju Bridge inwards Ekpe. A tow vehicle has been contacted. We have to go. The program has been produced by Dayo Anthony, and I say big thank you going out to Rebecca Adamu, who is of course the Director Public Relations with the Nigerian Shippers Council. Thank you so much. In the studios this morning, Zainab Ojuriye and of course Showande Michael, both of them in the studios. Maximum shout out going out to Remy Aluko and Michael. That's Daniel Downsey. Let me also say a big thank you to our executive producer, who is Tayo Akonle. Of course, you can connect with the Shippers Council on all their platforms at NG Shippers. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.
Nigerian Shippers Council day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council they feel in a parole now for every level, and as soon as goods they move from port A go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468.
For you, we dey gidigba.
Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting for the port of Nanir.